I'm here with Scott Clayton of Indy Prop Shop, and we're doing a visit of his shop of how to rebuild props and what it takes. And so, if you want to take us around and show us
Sure.
What's what?
So as you come in here, this is obviously where everything comes in. We get everything checked in on this side. So we mark every propeller so we know whose is whose. These are obviously before they've been worked on. And this side is kind of the end of the show where everybody comes and picks them up. And then over here is where we straighten and weld. These are all the different blocks. And obviously we never have the right one, so we're always having to shim and do all that. But I have about 450 to 500 blocks in stock. So we straighten here, and once we get them straight, we weld.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get done welding, we go back and we cut them back.
All right. That's the paint booth over there?
That's the paint booth, yep. So once we weld, this is aluminum obviously, we'll weld out farther than what we need so we try not to lose any diameter, and then we'll cut it back. So as you can see, here's a repair where we've repaired it and we've brought it back. And this is the first grinding that we're getting it back into the correct profile. Then we use the wheels. We use our grinding wheels to get to that point. Once we get past this point, we go to hand, as you can see what Ed's working on over there.
Hi, Ed.
Howdy.
And then once we get to the point on stainless steel and or brass or nitrile, we've got our polishing wheels, and we'll polish into a finish. And that's kind of the long and the short of it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, start over again. We're talking about pressing hubs into propellers and what tools they use.
And why you can't just press one, just because you have a press doesn't necessarily mean you can press one in. You have to have a funnel. And you can see the diameter, the hub would slide in here, and then the diameter is smaller here. So we reduce it down to get it inside of the propeller, and then we seat it from
Do you use any kind of a lubricant or anything?
We use a product called Power Foam.
Okay.
And we found that this evaporates much quicker than any other kind of, WD-40 and PV Blaster tends to have a longer residual, which we've always worried about maybe causing some slip. Yeah. But this Power Foam seemed to evaporate quite a bit quicker.
Okay, now what do you do if, for instance, on the old antique stuff, which is what we're interested in, the hubs are no longer available, which I know that you and I have talked about one. I brought one and the hub was like for the Mercury, Mark 30s, Mark 20s, 25s that have the Mercury pressed in hub. Is there anything that can be done to save those? Another kind of rubber, any kind of a hard plastic that could be inserted in there? Foam?
Not that I know of. I mean, I don't know of a process to where we could actually
I've seen
put
guys
new rubber.
take a screw and
Yeah.
I mean, it's Chrysler and all that.
I know you guys go way back farther than the 50s, but
I try not to collect anything in the 50s. I try to stay
older.
behind
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
Older than the 50s.
Yeah, but this is out of a 57. What was that? He just sent that to me. That's that one that came from South Carolina, that guy. But I had these in stock.
Really?
Yeah.
So is that Mercury or?
This was
an OMC.
Evinrude, I think.
Like Mark's got
like a
a whole
star.
one. If you get Mark's stock,
It's a 56.
Oh.
He wrote it on there to remind me what it was. Evinrude, yeah, 56 30 horsepower.
Evinrude.
Yeah.
Huh. So that is a very popular motor in today's antique outboard motor club.
Yeah.
There's lots of guys that'll buy a 14 to 16 foot runabout, and they want a 30 horse OMC motor to put on that. And
you can kind of see how it cracked.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah.
And that's what was causing the slippage.
And you can get these new. So that
I probably have
needs
2 or 3 of them sitting over there.
that needs to be in the article, because you'll get.
I can easily go back to mid-50s
Yeah.
all day long on all that stuff, because most everything back then was Johnson and Evinrude back in the 50s, because Mercury started coming in after that, really, didn't they?
No, Mercury was started in 39.
Oh, okay. So
But
they
the
weren't the big dogs, though, like
well,
Johnson and Evinrude, were they?
yeah, it depends on who
Remember
you
that?
talk to. If you talk to a Mercury guy, they're the number one.
Chrysler wasn't that?
Chrysler came in about 1968.
No, 64, 65, Chrysler bought out
Turned
West
into
Bend.
Force.
And then when Mercury bought Bayliner, which owned the U.S. Marine, which was Force, they turned it into Force and yada yada through the days, and now there is no Force.
Because I know
Yeah.
a lot of Force and Chrysler.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
The one thing that I have trouble now is finding is I can't find the shear pins. The people that I used to buy the shear pins from, they're gone.
Don't you just make it out of like brass rod?
Well, we could, but there's so many different sizes.
Yeah.
So I've got a bunch up there on the top of my shelf, but that's why I tell everybody, I
And
say
they
when they're
go
gone,
by
they're gone.
millimeters.
Yeah.
Because up there is say like 7mm, 8mm, 9mm.
Well, they go by 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 7s, 22s, 27s. So that's
Yeah.
how they
Do you
go
have a
by.
chart that shows?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
Because
charts.
we've got charts.
When we go to these big meets where they're doing swap stuff,
Yeah.
if there's a guy there with shear pins, you want them.
Probably,
Oh,
as
yeah.
long as they're well labeled and packaged to where I can sell them.
So we do see that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there,
Walk down that way, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to think of that shear pin manufacturer.
Bosun was one of them.
What did you say?
Bosun, Boson.
Andy, so up here on the very top up there, those are the old ones that I can't, Frable were all the old ones, and they're gone.
Frable. I've never
And
heard of
then
that.
Mark found them with that Handyman Marine, but I cannot get anybody to answer the telephone from Handyman Marine.